This is for all of my military spouses out there. And when those PCS orders drop, you've got weeks, sometimes days, thanks to the DoD, to figure out housing in a city you've never been to, maybe with a spouse who's deployed, or maybe they're on a TDY assignment, unavailable in a timeline that makes most lenders scares the shit out of them, frankly. This video is for those military spouses who are done figuring that out alone. We are here to help you because we've done this time and time again. And all of the operations team that I employ are all current or former military spouses who had spouses that multiple deployments, multiple PCSs, and lived this life. So here are some things that we can talk about. Can a military spouse use the VA loan independently? The answer is no, you cannot. But there are power of attorney solutions in situations. When you have military power of attorney, it has to be typically specific if you're going to use a power of attorney, which means it has to have certain things per the handbook and the VA handbook that make that valid, such as a property address, interest rate, that the service member is good with using that entitlement. Some details that the VA sets down. Okay, a lot of people miss this. Okay, especially if you've got a deployed veteran, we have to do a live and wells to make sure they're not MIA or KIA. Okay, all of it. It all has to be done that way. And it's for your protection. Some might see it as, oh God, this is so intrusive. It is not. Trust me, we don't want to do those things typically, but we have to. The VA makes us, but it is for your protection because once upon a time, there were spouses buying homes when their service member or spouse was deployed without their knowledge. That's not good. We can't go back to that situation. So there are protections in place that prevent that because on a deployment, it is a temporary duty status. Okay. So there are occupancy scenarios we have to go through to make sure the spouse can satisfy the occupancy, where that service member is coming back. When they come back, are they going back to that duty station? Maybe the spouse wanted to move home to be near family, which they can rightfully do. We just have to work through that scenario step by step to make sure that we're putting you in a good situation because not all lenders understand this. That's just a fact, okay? The timeline. Sometimes it's compressed. You don't have normal timelines like most civilians. Where most lenders fail is they don't understand those timelines. They think that Big Army or the Navy or the Marine Corps, when they're PCSing you somewhere all over the country, or maybe to a OCONUS assignment, that honestly, that our timeline is the only one that matters. And what I explain to people is this: DoD, Army, Navy, whoever it is, doesn't give a shit about our timeline. We have to work in yours. I have closed loans in 9 days to put military families in a good situation. We just did that out by Travis Air Force Base in California. 9 days with an appraisal because we had to, because our process is set up in such a way where we can. It just requires clarity and conversation on the front end instead of confusion at the very end. And that's what typically happens because people don't understand. They don't ask the right questions. So a lot of times people ask me, well, hey, is it better for me to buy or rent? There is not a blanket answer, but I'm going to try my best to give you answers that I think can apply to a lot of situations. Is that some people are not in the credit situation to buy. Maybe renting is what's best for you until you get your credit repaired, but you won't know that until you have a consult with a professional. Maybe you're only going to be there for a year, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy. It just means you're going to have to hold that real estate for longer because you can use your VA loan multiple times. We talked about that in past videos. So that's a situation. Maybe living on post sucks. There are base housing that's terrible. Maybe the wait is 18 months. It's crazy. Okay, what does my BA actually cover? What's the BAH based on my family, my rank, dependent, non-dependent? Where does that put me with the average house payment, mortgage payment, where I'm moving to, right? What's the delta? Maybe your BAH is 2,000, maybe what you want is 2,400. Are you willing to invest? Can you invest $400 a month to accomplish that goal? Okay, it's something that we can work through those numbers with you. And that's where dealing with the professional matters, okay? We talked about a little bit about power of attorney, but remote closings. We do remote closings we closed on one real life scenario with a borrower in South Korea, clearing post, coming back to the United States. The spouse was stationed at Lakenheath, buying a home in Florida. We had docs going all around the world. We did it in 28 days because our process is set up in such a way where it allows people to win in that. And people forget about that. We want to focus on rates and all this other stuff, and that's all well and good. But if your process is jacked, none of that matters because you're not going to close on time. The seller could keep your money. They could bust the contract. They don't have to extend it. So let's say you're at that duty station for a year. And do you want to rent it? Okay, you can be a landlord. You may not cash flow, so get that thought out of your head. You may not cash flow that house. You may totally break even. But think about it like this. Somebody else is paying for your investment. Somebody just like you is paying for your investment. So you're gaining equity appreciation and principal appreciation, right? That amortization in there from someone else making your payment. And you get the tax benefits. It's the best of both worlds. It is what will allow you to create financial freedom. Get that word wealth out of your head. Financial freedom, okay? But we have to evaluate all of these options. You can still do the EARL after you don't have to occupy the house to do a VA EARL, the greatest refinance program on the planet. Again, prior videos about that too. Go check those out. You don't have to occupy the house. You just have to once had occupied as your primary residence. It's fantastic. But iJob is a financial planner for your mortgage and carrying this with you well beyond that. That's my job. Okay? That's what we do. And we'll talk about that during our consults. Okay? And probably one of the most important things, and I can't stress this enough, is finding a VA savvy agent. I have a whole network across the country. Okay? But finding a VA savvy agent. If you find someone because it's your brother, sister's uncle, they haven't closed a VA loan, or they're not very savvy with offers or repairs or MPRs or anything like that, I promise you, it is the worst mistake you'll ever make. Do not make an emotional financial decision. They have to be qualified, period. And we can help you do that. We have a whole network wherever you're going all over the country. Okay? You have to ask the right questions. We're going to talk about red flags to avoid and have those conversations. And it's a team effort because everybody's got to pull their weight and row the boat at the same time, right? We're all rowing the same direction. Paramount. Okay. Military spouses carry more of this process than anyone ever talks about. I have a soft spot for military spouses. My sister-in-law, my brother-in-law is active duty. She works with me. And then my other two spouses who are like family to me. Military spouses carry that burden. This series sees you, and I want to see you. If you're navigating a PCS, or you're about to navigate a PCS, or you know someone who is, and need someone who actually understands how all of this works on a compressed timeline, book a call with me. No pressure, no sales, none of that shit. I want to hear your story, see what your timeline is, and see how I can help you. Do not wait until your orders are in hand. Come in early. We'll get ahead of it together. Okay? The link's below. Click that link. Let's schedule some time. Share this series with all your spouse friends. Do that for us. Do that for me. Do that for you. Do that for them. Okay? And next week, we're going to talk about active duty, BAH, and your mortgage as your superpower to financial freedom. So share this pod, share this YouTube channel, click the little bell for the reminder. Hope to see you guys next week. Again, active duty. This pertains to you. See you then.